Hello, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing another TBR Jar picks my monthly reads, and this month, obviously, we are going to be picking my reads for the month of June. I don't have too many prompts left in this TBR jar, so I'm going to have to redo them soon. If you guys have any good prompt ideas that I can do for the future whenever I do a revamp of my TBR jar, please leave those in the comments because I definitely will need some help. I don't want to reuse all of the same prompts that I've had from the past. In May, I didn't read as much as I wanted to, and I knew that was gonna happen just because May was an extremely busy month for me, but June is going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed as of now, much slower, so I will be able to actually read more and actually get through some of the books, if not most of the books that we end up picking for my June TBR. But let's just go ahead and get into picking the first prompt. We have a book that has been on my TBR for over a year. So recently I went through all of the books on my physical TBR. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check that out. But I have come to realize that a lot of these books have been on my TBR for a pretty long time. I feel like most of these are newer. One Dark Window has definitely been on my TBR for a while. The X-Files has definitely been on my TBR for a good amount of time, definitely over a year. Some of these as well. Some of the ones back here, but most of these now are a part of a series, so obviously I can't read those yet until I read the first book, which is on here. I think I'm going to go with The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I feel like I have put this book on my TBR so many times, but I really want to get to it, so hopefully this will be the month that I actually read this book. It's not very long. It's a little over 300, or I guess a little under 400, but I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure this is like second chance romance. These two exes are at a wedding together, and I don't know, I feel like this is just giving summer vibes. So this is going to be the first book on our TBR. Prompt number 2. A book I forgot I owned. To be completely honest, I feel like I haven't forgot I owned any of these books, especially because I just went through and did a kind of like declutter of my physical TBR. Okay, I have the Atlas 6 back here. I feel like since I keep that in the back, I don't really even remember that it's back there, so that is definitely a contender. Again, all of these books I see pretty much every single month, so I feel like I haven't forgot about any of these books. Most of these books I know I have on my TBR just because I see them almost every single day when I come into this room, and whenever I'm going to like buy books or anything, I always look at my TBR shelf thing that I have on my Fable app. This one I think is the closest to being able to go with this prompt, so I'm just gonna pick the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. And honestly, I am kind of excited to read this. I know a lot of people really like Olivia Blake's writing, and this was definitely a book that has been on my TBR for a while. I just never picked it up. And I haven't heard too many people talk about it recently, but I'm pretty sure there's like a secret society, and I feel like it is dark academia vibes. So we'll see if I end up getting to this, but I am kind of excited. So this is going to be the second book on our TBR for the month of June. Let's go in for number 3. A book I have been putting off. Okay. I feel like I have been putting off a lot of these books. Obviously, this was on my TBR last month, which is the first book in the Crescent City series. I have definitely been putting that book off for sure. All of these books I haven't necessarily been putting off. I'm just like waiting for the right time to read them. So most of these books on the bottom are fantasy books, and I always relate fantasy with like the colder months like fall and winter. Obviously, it is not fall and winter, so I feel like those just aren't matching the vibe right now. There are these two books by Sarah Adams. I have Practice Makes Perfect and The Match. Both of these books I have been wanting to read. This one is a part of an interconnected standalone little series that she has, and both of these are fairly shorter books. I'm gonna read the back of these and see how I feel. I have decided to go with Practice Makes Perfect. I actually did look it up, and this is the second book in the interconnected standalone series. And again, this is a fairly shorter book, so I feel like if I have a few short books on my TBR for this month, I will be more likely to actually finish or get through my TBR than I was last month. Because if you didn't see that video, I had some pretty big books on that TBR, but I am excited to get to this, and honestly, I don't know too much about it. I do know that when this book first came out, I saw some mixed opinions, but we will see how I end up feeling. And this is a romance book, and I also just feel like I associate romance books with the like spring summertime, so I think this definitely fits the season that we're in. Prompt number 4. Okay, a book set in a small town. We're going to definitely have to read the back of some books. I am pretty sure the Chestnut Springs series would be considered to be set in a small town, but I'm going to like look that up and just triple check before I pick this. Okay, I did just Google it, and it does say that this is considered to be set in a small town. I'm gonna look at a couple of other books that I have and see if not this will be our final choice for this prompt. I feel like fantasy doesn't really like count for this. On the back of Runaway Love, it says don't miss the best-selling small town romance capturing readers' hearts and taking book talk by storm. So obviously this is a contender. I also have First Time Caller. I am also not sure if this is going to be set in a small town. I'm going to do some reading of the back. If I can't find it on here, I'm going to Google it. Okay, I feel like I'm going to save that one. Now we are just between Powerless and Runaway Love. This has not been on my TBR very long, but I have read the first 2 books in the series, so this would be the 3rd book. And this one has definitely been on my TBR for a while. I'm gonna go with Powerless by Elsie Silver just because I really want to continue this series, and I already know I love most of the characters that we have already seen in the first 2 books that I have read from this series. So I'm just going to continue on and have this be the 4th book on this month's TBR. Right now we have a good amount of romance. Nothing too crazy is going on, but let's see what prompt number 5 is. A book that might make me cry. I have heard that Taming 6, which is Gibbsy and Claire's story, number 5 in the Boys of Tommen series, is very sad. So honestly, I feel like a lot of the times when I've read the previous 4 books in this series, I have cried, if not wanted to cry. So I feel like this is one of the most perfect books for this prompt, and honestly, that was a really easy pick. And I'm not mad about it because this is probably one of the only books on my TBR right now that I am like actually excited to read. I feel like that sounds kind of bad, but I absolutely love the Boys of Tommen series, so I am not complaining that this might make me cry. I feel like right now we have a good array of sizes of books. Like we have a couple shorter books. This one, Chestnut Springs, doesn't really take me a long time to read. While Taming 7 is a little bit longer, I feel like I fly through the Boys of Tommen books, so I'm not worried about that. And the Atlas 6, this one might take me a little bit longer because of possible world building or learning the magic system, but I think we'll be fine. So we are going to go and pick prompt number 6, if I can pick one. A book by an author I love. Okay, honestly, this is kind of really hard because I haven't read anything from any of these authors yet. No. I have read the whole ACOTAR series from Sarah J. Maas, so I could do Crescent City or The Assassin's Blade, Do I really want to do that to myself? No, but I kind of might be feeling it, which I feel like I should take that as a sign because usually I don't want to pick up either one of these books. I really, really want to read Mile High, but unfortunately, I can't say I love that author because I haven't read anything by her. I do have Beartown back here, and I've only read one book by Frederick Bachman so far. And while I did love that book and love his writing, I feel like that is not enough to consider myself having Frederick Bachman be one of my loved authors. Most of the books back here, again, I have a couple Elsie Silver books that are starting a new series, but I don't want to do that until I finish the Chestnut Springs series. Okay, I feel like right now the only two choices that we have are Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood, and The Assassin's Blade. I actually have already listened to The Assassin's Blade on audiobook not that long ago. I think it was sometime last year. For some reason, I just could not get into the book. So I feel like it might have been because I listened to it on audiobook and I actually need to go back and physically read the book so that I can digest everything that's happening. So that is why this is still on my physical TBR, even though I technically have already read it. But I also have been kind of interested in reading this book. But as you can see, we already know, if you saw last month's video, this book is very, very thick. She is almost 800 pages, which, hey, that's really, really scary. But again, I don't know. I'm like kind of excited to read this. I really feel like this could be an option. Again, I do really want to read this series too. Why is this so hard? Like, do I read this first? I am going to pick The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas just because I feel like I should kickstart my journey into the Throne of Glass series, and I think this will be a little bit of an easier read over this one just because of how long it is. So this is going to be our final book on my TBR for the month of June. Quick overview of these 6 books on my TBR. We have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, Powerless by Elsie Silver, Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh, and The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. So, honestly, I'm not too mad at this TBR. I feel like there is a high possibility of me getting through most of these books, which I honestly am kind of excited for because, again, last month I didn't get to read as much as I had hoped to. And I also feel like we have a good mixture of books that have been on my TBR for quite some time, but also some more new books that I have been excited to get to. So I feel like this is a really good TBR and I am not too mad about it. If you guys have read any of these books, definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. And again, if you have any TBR jar prompt suggestions, also let me know because I will definitely need to do a refill on my prompts because we are running very, very low. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to stay tuned for more videos from me and happy reading!